Magnus Carlsen's show power of his strategical understanding against Gukesh D the World. In this video, we will understand why Magnus Carlsen is the best in the chess world by his simple and deep chess. This game has been played in Clutch Chess 2025, which Magnus won with a great margin, 25.5. 9 points margin from the second place Fabiano Caruana. Hikaru was there, Gukesh was there, every good player were there, but they cannot compete with Carlsen because of his Magnus Carlsen's advantage and his strategical understanding. Let's see what happened in this game. Gukesh, which is a very great positional player, started this game with e4, e5. We have the Ruy Lopez, the king of the chess openings. We have the main lines. Magnus doesn't go for Berlin or something like this. We have the main lines of Lopez. He's not interested in the open Lopez. He just wants close Lopez. And now Gukesh goes for this d3 line, which is the second main line. First main line is rook c3, rook e1, c3, d4. Now white is threatening to take on c6 and win this pawn. So black is playing b5, bishop here, castle, all main lines. Rook e1, we have d6, c3, bishop b7, and after knight d2, which is a normal maneuver coming to here, Magnus plays this h6 move. He wants to go for this Zaitsev-Pilnik variations with rook e8. And now knight to f1, rook to e8, knight to g3. So the knight came from b1 to g3, and now Magnus just plays bishop f8. So if you want to play knight f5, I protected my king side. In this position, white just simply goes for d4. Now black with this rook on e8 is protecting the center, g5 is protected, so everything is protected. He goes for knight a5, the normal maneuver in Lopez, and now knight to c4, which is a provoking move. Black puts the knight on c4, wants to have some pressure here on the queen side, and provokes white to push the pawns, which is a good move. White takes tempo and he's better. But now Magnus wants to use this kind of pawn structure. In this position, I guess Gukesh went wrong. This is a rapid game. He has 10 minutes till now. But I guess this a4 plan is not the best plan in this position. Maybe something like h3 with the idea of knight f5 and even some crazy attacks with g4 was better. But he goes a4. Magnus says, welcome, take. And now he plays a5, which is a very great move, preventing a5. Fixing this pawn on a4, which might be a weakness in very near future in endgames like that. Magnus is playing them perfectly. It can be a weakness. This a5 pawn cannot be that much of a weakness because you cannot attack it so simply. Here is where I think Gukesh really went wrong strategically in this game. Because the bishop is on b7, white can think about this knight f5 plans. And the best way is probably starting with h3. And if Gukesh wants to play, if Carlsen wants to play on the queen side, which is the plan, bishop a6, rook b8, this is somehow the plan, then you can put the knight on f5. And for example, after rook b8, you have both knight here, even rook b1, but I like g4 here, which is some kind of attack. And after knight c4, you can go crazy with g5, and this is complete madness, and this is what white should do. This is the strategical aim of this kind of openings. And white probably can have a good attack against the king. But in this position, Gukesh just went bishop to d3, which inviting black to play bishop a6, which is very strange. Carlsen just plays queen c8, bishop a6 was also good, but now he wants to play bishop a6. Gukesh decides to take the space and center with d5, but now c6, he wants to open it. Here both players miss a tactical opportunity, which is not the main idea of this video. I'm not going to pay a lot of attention to tactical things because the main thing that Carlsen done in this game was his superior on strategical. Now both players miss a very important tactical shot. In this position, Gukesh blunders with bishop e3, and Magnus just retreats with the knight, which is saying that Magnus was just interested in these strategical maneuvers. In this position, both players didn't realize that there is a tactic. Of course, if you tell them that there is a tactic here, In 5 seconds they will find it, but they were not aware of it. There is cd5 here, after here, here, and all of these trades which are forced. Black has queen c6 at the end of the line, winning one of these two, and his pawn up at the end, minus 1.5 for black. So this was great. Magnus missed it. Knight d7, he just wants to play positional chess. Of course, it was a miss, but let's focus on the strategical part of this game. c4, white is pushing, but is he? Bishop a6. I just want to trade here and have some squares on the c line also. White plays h3 to cover this g4 square. Black plays rook b8, very natural. In this position, it's already time to play rook b1 or first play bishop f1. This bishop is very badly placed. It had a good place on c2 already, but probably he wanted to play like this to play this c4. But bishop f1 now is necessary. He plays queen e2, and Magnus says, "Excuse me, just give me one of your bishops. I can now win one of your bishops, this or this. Which one do you want to surrender? If you surrender this one, then you're going to surrender the white squares. And if you surrender this one, you're going to surrender the dark squares." This is so simple. Like, queen e2 seems so natural to play. But it's just a very bad move. Bishop d3, queen e2, these are natural moves, but someone like Magnus can exploit them. After queen e2, just knight c5 is a fantastic move. Black surrendered the dark squares, but now let's see what happens. Now I have this b4 square. You cannot chase me with bishop d2. Queen to c2, rook to b4. And now the rook is attacking both weaknesses. Bishop to f1, a little bit late. g6 wants to activate the other bishop on the long diagonal. Now I have two bishops. You might say the position is closed, but look at these knights. What can they do? But these bishops can do so many things. So it's why you should evaluate each and every single position, exactly that position, not just by, okay, this is closed position, knight is better than bishop. It's not like this. Chess is a very specific game. You cannot just understand chess by just these kind of rules. In this position, cd5 was better, but queen c7 is even good enough. The best by engine is take, but now the queen is perfect here. I mean, but okay, white also had some activity, but after rook d2, black just takes. You cannot take back with the e-pawn because I have e4. You move, I'll have e3. I'm winning the game. You cannot take because of queen g3. It's just over. So white take here, but now c4. Rook c8 is coming. Passed pawn, just like that. It's very simple. And the white player is the world chess champion. I mean, we know that Magnus is the best, but Gukesh is a very, very good player. But to win like this, and I should say also he won 5.5 to half in this tournament against Gukesh, which was so strange. Queen to c1, he just wants to change the place. The rook goes to c2, so can control this line, but it's not enough. Rook c8, rook c2, especially against Carlsen. Bishop g7. Some players are missing good positions, just ruining good positions, but Magnus is not one of them. It's very hard to defend this position. Maybe knight d2, bringing the other knight to e2. This is the way, but Gukesh just plays h4. He wants to go for some activity, but which kind of activity we are talking about? Like that a4, a5, this is also just helping black. Now I have this g4 square, and these knights are very dumb. Rook to a3, knight to g4, rook here. Okay, give me this f2 pawn. Maybe I can attack it some days. But white has no moves. I mean, this queen c1, rook c2, rook c8, these are not real. Like, there is some pressure, but you cannot do anything. No bishop, queen to d2. Of course, you cannot take this because of rook takes c4, rook takes c4, rook takes c4. And this is why he played this. Of course, bishop c4 is still good, but f2 is also hanging, and this is hanging. So probably white was happy to give back an exchange to free up his position, but the problem is f2 is also hanging. So queen d2, what to do? And look at this. And look at this move. It's a total humiliation to the white pieces. Like, what are you going to do? Bishop f4, you need to go back to h1, but where you're going to do from there? mean, that's crazy. Rook to b3, just attacking g3, just move the bishop. But now the knight has no place to go. What is this knight on h1? Oh my god. Bishop h3 and queen b4, and Gukesh resigned. He didn't play bad. Like, he played that bishop b3. That was a blunder, but he didn't even chess.com. Like, this h4 was bad, but the whole strategy, you can see the superior strategy strategical understanding here. It's just Lopez, which, if you want to outplay your opponent, if you think you are stronger, and if you want to outplay your opponent, it's the best opening. h6, knight here, rook e8, we have knight g3. This is all well known. d4 well known, and here knight c4 provoking, and in this position, this a4 is not itself bad, but after this kind of bishop d3, it was not clear for Gukesh how to play. But for Magnus, it seems like it's very simple and clear for him how to play. It's just very simple for him. Like, when you play h3, queen e2, it seems like white's play is not harmonious, but black's play is harmonious. You can see it. Like, after a5, look, just queen c8, black is trying to play on the queen side. Okay, this is a tactical opportunity, of course, but strategically, he knows what to do. He's putting the pieces, he has everything under control. Knight to c5, winning. I mean, the game, chess speaks for itself, like Hans says. He's the king of the chess. I mean, strategical understanding, no one competing with him in the whole chess history. We can say that. Welcome, my friend, to the PS 2013. It was a great game, no? I liked it also. It was a great in tactical understanding and dynamic play. Of course, I believe Kasparov was better, but in strategical understanding of the game, maybe Karpov was close to him, and also Fischer, of course. Fischer's dynamic and strategical understanding was very great. But I mean, if we're just talking about strategical understanding of chess, no one competes with Carlsen. It's my state. It is on this, and it's my belief on this. In this position, it's just over. Like, I just explained it. Like, if you take here, I'll just take back. If you take, I'll just take back. a4, look at this a4 pawn, and look at this knight on h1. It's just over. The best line by engine is this, to give up the rook. So imagine how bad is the situation. As I told you, he won 25.5 in this tournament, Clad Chess. He shows his power. He shows his understanding, his deep understanding of chess. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about Magnus and these kind of videos. Remember always to enjoy chess and life.